Okay, let's go inside. So the shop has divided space, but wall doesn't go all the way up. But this side's partly finished. Can't say how well the insulation's been done. They've added insulation to the roof, but then taken it down, it seems. And there's a note in the report about insulation directly on underneath the roofing, and that does sometimes cause a ventilation problem where you might get moisture buildup. Here with the metal roof and metal building, it's probably done a little bit different. It's just that you probably should check to make sure that that's not going to cause a problem, have insulation, added insulation underneath that metal roof. Here's the first sub panel, and I did take the, I did take the cover off, take a look inside, and this one actually did have a melted neutral wire that probably should be looked at. Why did it get so hot? And the other side. So this is more of a workshop space as it's set up currently. And I have the overhead door up. It does roll up pretty nicely. Just has a padlock in the rail to keep it locked because the latch is broken. And part of the insulation's missing too. There. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm carrying a flashlight around as we go inside. They weren't able to get the power on, and there's no water either. And of course, there really isn't any plumbing fixtures hooked up right now. Well, not much at least. Basically said the water heater's bad. The real estate agent said the water heater's bad, and so that's part of the reason why the water's off. Okay, coming in. This room has a pretty strong smell. I'm not sure what it is, if it's from pets or from rodents. The rest of the house isn't too bad. Of course, there's no kitchen, which again, I mentioned the plumbing is all PEX underneath the ground, and so you could reconfigure this and move the kitchen to another room and move the bathroom to another room if you wanted. I have some ideas about that. Okay. Just a quick look at the bathroom. Of course, there's not a whole lot going on. There's a newer toilet. There is water in it. The tub is listing to the rear, so it's obviously not set up. There's no plumbing either, so it's ready to be redone. Bedrooms, there's not a whole lot to say besides trying some windows. Here we can see that the spring is not in the correct place, so it's not working. And then some of the windows are screwed shut. Broken wood window there. And ceiling, ceiling missing in there. It's been torn down for some reason. Bedroom there. Oh, sorry, my ladder's kind of in the way. Let's talk about what we got here. So hardwood floors throughout. This in here has some vinyl tile. It could be asbestos. It's good likelihood there's asbestos in it. So there's a note in the report about that. Over here, the flooring has been patched and repatched, and it's at different levels. And then in the laundry room, it's plywood, which also is not level. Coming through here, right where my ladder is, it slopes up to these two bedrooms a little bit. It's not terrible. And then in the rooms, this is the hardwood seems to be in the best condition. It's actually not bad. Let me move my ladder. Oops. Light back on. And then hardwood in here, but it does slope down to this room. Look at this again. So it looks like before they replaced the roof, there was probably some moisture coming through. And that's maybe what was happening in this other room and in this hallway. And then also here in this bedroom, some water damage, and it's sagging pretty good in there. Let's talk about the attic. Attic access is right there. Overall, the framing seems pretty good. Oops, framing seems pretty good. There is some most likely mold on the underside of the roof. Again, that's probably because it had an old roof that seeped through. And then the insulation is, we call it cellulose. It's basically cardboard ground up, and it compacts pretty good. Looks like there's a note up there that from the insulator, it was done in '97. And so it looked okay. Anything else up there? No, pretty much there's most likely some mold that really should be taken care of. Anything else? Crawl space, there's no vapor barrier, it's just dirt, and there's quite a bit of debris down there for all the years of people working and adding posts and doing floor repairs. They've left a bit of debris. Like I said, there's PEX supply lines, and the drain lines are a combination of ABS PVC going into some cast iron. And they're not, it needs to be evaluated for sure. Not sloped correctly, and some unprofessional connections going on. So that's about it. It's pretty rough, but like with most houses, there's potential. It could be, most of the value is in the land and in the shop. It could be a tear down, or it could be something you work on and fix up, or it could be partial tear down and move bathroom and kitchen one way or the other. My thought was move down to those rooms. But yeah, there's always potential, and anything really can be fixed up. The foundation, you asked about that, and it's different because it has the stem wall, it has the footing and then stem walls, but then it has great big openings where the beams come through. Just a little different, and then you have that one part out front that's falling forward. So it does have footings and stem wall though, except for these slots. All right. Yeah, I think that probably answers the questions. If you have any more questions after reading through the report, or if you need clarification on what I see, just reach out. I'd be happy to try to help. And just call me or email me or text me. Thanks a lot.